Hello, welcome in. I am so glad that you're here. Whether you're here because of something going on with your child or your baby, or maybe you've been dealing with something for yourself, I want to begin by saying this. If you've ever felt like something's off, but you feel like you can't get clear answers, you're not alone. And you're not wrong for feeling that way. This is something that we hear every single day in our office. Parents will say, I feel like something isn't right. Or adults will say, I just don't feel like myself, but I'm not sure why. Or I've been having this chronic pain or these chronic headaches. I've tried so many different things. And many times when you go in, everything comes back normal. The x rays come back normal, your labs come back normal. But how you feel, or what your child's experiencing, which is even harder because we're trying to ask questions to our kids and they don't always know how to describe the things that they're feeling or why they're acting a certain way. But if it's not feeling normal to you, that's what we are doing different here at Vive. So in our office, we're not starting with the symptoms. We're starting with the nervous system because the nervous system is the control center of our body. Our nervous system controls our sleep, it controls our digestion, it controls our behavior, it controls our personality, actually. It controls focus, emotional regulation, and it also controls healing. So when the nervous system is overwhelmed or when it's stuck in what we call stress mode or fight or flight mode, the body cannot function the way it's designed to. The body starts to function in more of a stress mode as well. So that's when we start seeing things like kids who can't settle or regulate, sleep struggles, anxiety, overwhelm, chronic tension, and discomfort, not because our body's broken, but because our body and our brain and our nervous system is overwhelmed. So the question becomes, how do we actually know what the nervous system's doing? This is where our Insight scanning systems come in. These are advanced, non-invasive scans that allow us to actually measure how the nervous system is functioning. Instead of guessing, we can actually see and present to you how your body is handling stress, where the stress might be getting stuck, and how your body's adapting. First, we look at HRV, or heart rate variability. Simply put, this tells us how well your body is adapting to stress, because stress is always going to be there. Stress is good stress as well. Life is busy, kids are busy, work is busy. The goal is not to eliminate stress, it's to be able to handle stress better. When your nervous system is adaptable, you recover more easily. You can shift out of stress mode and back into rest, regulation, sleep, and your body's going to function more efficiently. But when our adaptability is low, that's when we start to see things like feeling overwhelmed, trouble sleeping, kids who can't regulate their emotions. So this gives us a really important starting point. I'll show you what our HRV scan looks like. It looks like this. It's super simple. We just slide your fingers in, or for kiddos, we have a sleeve that goes over our finger, or we have a little clip that can go on their ear if their fingers are too small. This HRV we do try to get on everyone. It gets really hard between about the ages of a year and 3 years because you do have to be still for 3 minutes. But if babies are sleeping when they come into us, we're able to get that because they're still. So this takes your heartbeat over a period of 3 minutes. What we expect to see in a normal stress response as our body is adapting to life, we expect to see that our heart rate will increase when we experience stress. And then as we experience a recovery, we should see that our heartbeat starts to space out again. And so that's why we have a 3-minute scan. We want to see how adaptable our nervous system is over a length of time. So we can see how are we responding to stress. What they have found in kiddos and adults who already were at a stressful state all the time is when we stress them out with outside things, either noise, whatever it is that would be overstimulating to you, what we're finding is the heartbeat doesn't respond. It already is at a high heart rate, so therefore it doesn't have any extra to respond to stress. We're already there. Then also we don't have that nice recovery where our heartbeat starts to slow down again and we can get more into that rest and digest and sleep and healing mode, and where we really want to be living most of our days. So it's really cool that we get to see this with this scan. The second scan that we do looks at thermal patterns. So this one's really interesting because it shows us how stress is patterned in the nervous system. We're looking how the brain is communicating with the body along the spine. What we often see are patterns where the body is stuck in fight or flight, meaning it's not shifting out of stress the way it should. And when this happens, the body stays in a state of tension, alertness, dysregulation, even when it doesn't need to be. So we can see the patterns along the nerve roots of where you are carrying stress. And then we can follow those nerve roots to different organs, tissues, and glands and say, well, this is probably why you're dealing, maybe with a chronic cough because your lungs are holding a whole bunch of stress. The nerves that go to your lungs are carrying a bunch of stress. Or maybe with kids' ear infections, we see up in their upper cervical area, they're carrying a ton of inflammation and stress, and we can see that show up with a variety of different colors on our thermal scans. And so we can say, well, if we remove that stress out of there, if we get all of those nerves firing and functioning in a calm and balanced manner, maybe they can heal those things up easier without having to go to antibiotics or tubes and then antibiotics, as we see happen a lot of the times. The tubes don't always fix it. This is our thermal scanner. So it just rolls up the spine. It's super simple. We can do this on everyone. Birth up to 105. It just rolls up your spine. It's super simple. Kids say it kind of tickles a little bit. And basically it's doing hot and cold. So areas where we see more inflammation, more subluxation or stress or like neural shifts will show up warmer. And so we can actually see that. And then we can also see cooling patterns, which happen with more chronic issues. We see that with chronic illness, those ear infections. Again, sometimes we see some of those chronic cooling patterns. We can see it with constipation as well, or lymph or congestion, because we want things to be warm throughout our body. And if we have a cooling pattern, things are probably not working their way out of the system as well. So that's the second one that we do. And then our third scan is EMG, which measures how much tension is being held in the muscles along the spine. This is where a lot of people start to connect the dots with children and their energy levels and the inability to relax. Or maybe yourself, maybe you're like, I can't even sit and watch a TV show because I feel like I have to be up moving all the time. That's the Energizer Bunny inside. That's what we're checking in on our EMG. So we can actually see it. When the nervous system's under stress, the body is going to hold that stress as tension, and it's going to hold us in place against gravity. So we can see how much energy are you using just resisting gravity. We haven't moved out amongst our life or asked us to do anything extra. We're not overstimulated in our office. Usually it's pretty calm. So we can see where is the baseline of our internal Energizer Bunny. Is it nice, calm like a cucumber? Or are we bouncing off the walls inside and so therefore going to feel more bounce off the wally on the outside? Because input equals output. This scan looks like this, and it just goes up your spine really nicely, about every inch, and it tests those muscles and the muscle tension within those postural muscles. So each of these three scans give us important information. But an even bigger power is when we can look at them all together. So we're not just seeing one piece, we're seeing a full picture about how your nervous system's functioning. We're looking at how you're handling the stress, how you're adapting, where is anything stuck, where is any stress, inflammation, tension stuck, and how it's showing up in the body, and how is it showing outwardly with our symptoms. So this allows us to create a care plan that's specific to you or specific to your child instead of using a one-size-fits-all approach. One of the most important things to understand is we don't just scan once. We're tracking the progress over time. We don't expect perfection. We want progress. As the nervous system becomes more regulated, we expect to see better adaptability, more balanced patterns, and less tension. This is where families really start to feel hope when they can see it on the scans and we can see how it makes sense into our everyday life. You're going to feel so validated. You're going to feel hopeful that when we remove that stress, we're going to be feeling 10 times better. And you'll be able to actually see the change happening across the scans. So again, if you've been feeling like something is off for you or for your child and you're ready to stop guessing, this is your next step. You're going to want to schedule an appointment with us so we can start with our insight scans. we can get more clarity, we can get answers, and we can get a direction that we need to go in order to actually help. And don't worry, we're gonna walk you through all of it. You don't have to figure this out on your own anymore. Your body's not broken. It's incredibly smart. It just needs the right support at the right time, and that's exactly where we begin. So if you're ready to get started, you can either message us on Facebook, you can call our office, or you can hop on our website and schedule a free phone consult where we can kind of go over everything additional about our office and what makes our office really special and why it would be the perfect place for you. We hope to talk soon. Bye.